LeBron doesn't hate me because I critique his son. He hates me because I know things he praised never come out, especially when it comes to him and Diddy.
Yeah, no jokes. Stephen A is about to pull the curtain back on why LeBron really can't stand him. And trust me, it's not just about that heated debate over Bronny's spot on the court. That's the surface level story. The real reason? It's tangled up in a web that stretches deep into the world of LeBron, Stephen A, and Diddy. Stuff that most people in Hollywood would never dare to say out loud. This all started way back in 2018 when Stephen A. Smith first took aim at LeBron's leadership skills during his Cavs run. That move already rubbed some people the wrong way, but the real heat didn't start until years later. When Stephen A. crossed a line LeBron wasn't willing to ignore. Because see, Stephen A. didn't just talk basketball anymore. He talked about Bronny James, LeBron's pride and joy. On First Take, he casually threw Bronny's name into conversations with top prospects like DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards. He said Bronny was solid, but not on their level. No malice, no shade. Just Stephen A. being the loud, honest analyst he's always been.
Right now, Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds.
But when you bring up LeBron's son, even a simple critique hits different. Bronny isn't just another teenage hooper, he's a James. Every move he makes is under a spotlight brighter than most rookies could even imagine. So when Stephen A. said what he said, LeBron didn't just take offense, he took action. Almost instantly, LeBron flipped that switch into protective father mode. He didn't ignore it, didn't let his PR team smooth things over. Nah, he went straight to the mic. On the Pat McAfee show, LeBron said loud and clear, "You can say whatever you want about me, but when it comes to my family, it's different."
But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
That one line went crazy. Social media exploded overnight. Half the people were riding with LeBron, saying Bronny's only 19, let the kid breathe, while the other half sided with Stephen A., arguing that if you're chasing an NBA dream, criticism is part of the deal, especially when your dad is literally the face of basketball. Honestly, I gotta agree with that second group. Fame doesn't come with off days, not when you're a James. But the wildest part, this wasn't some quiet back and forth or leaked text thread. This was LeBron versus Stephen A., live in public, right in front of millions.
You guys lost the goddamn deal, damn it!
The tension was real, and everyone could feel it. Thing is, LeBron's been this way from the jump. He's always been courtside, defending Bronny like a full-time bodyguard. Anytime someone questioned his son's hype or said he's only getting looks because of his dad, LeBron shut it down fast. He spent years building his image as the ultimate family man. So when Stephen A. poked even slightly at that image, LeBron snapped. Because to LeBron, this wasn't just about Bronny. It was about everything he's built as a father, an icon, and a brand. When Stephen A. spoke, it felt like he wasn't just questioning Bronny's game. He was questioning LeBron's entire legacy. But here's where things get really spicy. That father versus analyst story, that's just the cover-up. The real tension between these two, it goes way deeper than basketball talk. If Bronny was the spark, then what's the fire? Oh, this is where things start heating up for real. Because the real issue between LeBron and Stephen A. might trace back to a name that's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Diddy. Now, Stephen A. isn't just some talking head chained to an ESPN desk. He's been in this game for decades. The man's got serious industry pull. He's rubbed shoulders with rappers, moguls, and movie stars for years. He's been seen at the same star-studded parties and elite after-hours events where sports, music, and money all crash into one chaotic world. NBA All-Star weekends, he's there. Music industry dinners in New York, he's there too. Those invite-only charity galas where the real deals go down behind the scenes. Yup, Stephen A.'s right in the mix. He's not just talking sports, he's hearing stories. And when it comes to Diddy, you know there's always something floating around. Stephen A.'s heard the whispers, seen the tension, maybe even caught wind of some details the public wasn't supposed to know. Because lately, Diddy's name doesn't trend for dropping hits. It trends for headlines, FBI raids, lawsuits, wild accusations, the kind of stuff that even makes A-list celebs nervous to speak his name. So now imagine this, Stephen A., the man with the mic, the platform, and the connections, knowing things that LeBron once kept quiet. That's not just gossip, that's leverage. And it might be the real reason behind this whole LeBron versus Stephen A. Cold War. In Hollywood and sports media, it doesn't matter if you're actually involved in something. If your name even echoes next to the wrong person's, it spreads like wildfire. And when that person is Diddy, everyone suddenly gets nervous. Every A-lister who's ever been seen shaking hands with him starts acting real careful the moment those headlines hit. Now here's where LeBron steps into the frame. Right around 2018, the same year his bond with Stephen A. started crumbling. And guess who LeBron was getting closer to around that exact time? Diddy. Coincidence? Please. That year, Diddy pulled one of his infamous PR stunts, sending out those special gift boxes to his celebrity friends. It was half luxury gift, half power move. And yes, LeBron got one of those boxes too. Fast forward to 2023, and LeBron's still showing love, hyping up one of Diddy's new songs on Instagram, calling it a stone cold vibe. That wasn't just a casual shout out. That was LeBron saying loud and clear, yeah, me and Diddy are good. Now pay attention, because this is where the dots start connecting. If you're Stephen A. Smith, a man who's built his entire empire on knowing everything about everybody, that kind of friendship doesn't go unnoticed. Steven's the type who doesn't just spill secrets, he lets you know he has them. That's his brand. His smirk alone can start a rumor. So when LeBron starts cozying up with Diddy, Stephen A's probably thinking, interesting. I know things that could shift the whole narrative if I ever spoke up. Now flip it. You're LeBron James, the face of the NBA, the picture-perfect family man, the model of discipline and control. You've spent your whole career being untouchable. No scandals, no chaos, just greatness. The second your name even drifts near the kind of headlines Diddy's been tangled in, we're talking lawsuits, raids, and wild accusations, your image could take a hit you can't afford. And that's why Stephen A's cryptic line hit so hard. When he said, if this ever comes out, he's finished. And he knows it. People lost it. Fans started connecting dots. Conspiracy threads popped up overnight, and the internet turned it into something way bigger than it might have been. But here's what's key. Stephen A. isn't reckless. The man's been in media too long to speak by accident. Dropping a line like that wasn't random. That was a warning shot. A reminder to LeBron that Stephen holds cards he'd rather stay buried. So when you look at it from the top, Bronny's whole situation might have been just the excuse. The real issue? It's about power. Who controls the story? Because Diddy's world right now, it's a blast radius. And Stephen A just made sure LeBron's name was standing dangerously close to the explosion. Oh, and don't think it stops there. It gets way deeper. Because unlike the usual back and forths LeBron deals with, this one cuts personal. Sure, he's had critics before. That's nothing new. Skip Bayless has roasted him since rookie year. Jalen Rose questioned his clutch gene. Draymond Green has taunted him mid-game. And Charles Barkley has never held back. But the difference? LeBron usually laughs that stuff off. Maybe he claps back once. Maybe he ignores it entirely. Because it's just basketball talk. That's part of the deal when you're the king. But Stephen A? He's a whole different kind of danger. When Skip or Draymond talk, they're reacting to what everyone sees. A missed shot, a playoff loss, a finals narrative. But when Stephen A talks, he's hinting at what no one's supposed to know. He doesn't just analyze the game, he toys with the mystery behind it. That's what makes LeBron sweat, because this isn't about a blown possession or an off night. This is about control. Stephen A's got the kind of insider knowledge that could bend public perception. And that's the one thing LeBron's built his empire on managing. LeBron's used to being in charge of the narrative, from his press conferences to his brand deals to the way he curates every detail of his image. But Stephen A, he's the one guy who can't be controlled. And LeBron knows it. It's like a high-stakes poker game. Stephen A's holding cards LeBron can't afford to let him play. And the scary part, he could lay them down anytime. That uncertainty, that not knowing what Stephen A might say or when he might say it is what keeps LeBron on edge. Because this isn't just another sports feud. This isn't a debate. It's a threat wrapped in friendly banter, broadcast live on national TV. And it's one LeBron can't simply tune out or block on social media. So, why does Stephen A scare LeBron more than Bayless, Barkley, or even Draymond ever could? Simple. Those guys attack his stats. Stephen A, he can touch his story. And in a world built on reputation, that's where the real danger lies. Now, to really understand how we got here, we gotta rewind. Back to the early 2000s, when Stephen A wasn't roasting LeBron yet. He was actually rooting for him. At first, Stephen A wasn't LeBron's enemy. He was his biggest fan. Back in the early 2000s, LeBron was just a teenager straight out of high school, stepping onto the national stage with the weight of the world already on his shoulders. And Stephen A, he was hyping him up like the next chosen one. He called him the future of basketball, praised his maturity, and said the league was about to change forever. Stephen A wasn't just commentating, he was building the legend. He helped make LeBron a household name before the man even played a single NBA game. Then came 2010, the year everything flipped upside down. The decision. When LeBron announced on live TV that he was taking his talents to South Beach, the entire sports world exploded. Reporters called it arrogant, fans felt betrayed, and analysts dragged his name for weeks. But guess who stood up for him when nobody else would? Stephen A. Smith.
I am not blaming LeBron James one bit. He has a right to be a free agent. He has a right to go where he wants to go, do what he wants to do, etc., etc. And he is not at fault. He's to be applauded for exercising the business savvy that he has exercised.
While most critics called it a PR disaster, Stephen A. said LeBron had every right to control his own story. He said, "This man earned the right to choose his destiny. He wasn't just defending him. He was protecting his image when it mattered most." Fast forward to 2016, when LeBron led the Cavs to that iconic 3-1 comeback against the Warriors. Stephen A. was ecstatic. He called it legacy-defining, praised LeBron's leadership, and even said he'd silenced his haters for good.
Cleveland's defense looks impressive. LeBron James looks otherworldly, and collectively, offensively, they seem to be coming together more and more.
For years, the two had this mutual respect, a king on the court and a king behind the mic. But by 2018, the energy started shifting. Slowly, Stephen A.'s tone changed from cheerleader to critic.
But there is no question the biggest culprit in all of this is LeBron James.
Not harsh at first, but you could feel it. He began calling out GM LeBron, questioning his trade decisions, locker room chemistry, and even his leadership style. He hinted that LeBron had become passive-aggressive with teammates and media alike. It wasn't open hostility, but the warmth was gone. And that's the thing. These feuds never happen overnight. The tension brews in quiet moments first, and if you were paying attention, you could see that something was brewing behind the scenes. Now remember, this was the same time LeBron started getting closer with Diddy. You seeing the pattern yet? Stephen A. pulling back, LeBron cozying up with one of the most controversial figures in the entertainment industry? Oh, it's not coincidence. This was a shift in alliances, and Stephen A. didn't like what he was seeing.
LeBron doesn't hate me because I critique his son. He hates me because I know things he praised never come out, especially when it comes to him and Diddy.
Because Diddy's world, it's not just luxury and limos, it's chaos. And when I say messy, I mean dark messy. Let's be real, Diddy isn't just a music mogul. His name has been tied to some of the wildest, most disturbing scandals Hollywood's ever seen. We're talking about the notorious freak-off parties whispered about in VIP circles, and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, who came forward with jaw-dropping allegations. Cassie accused Diddy of physical and emotional abuse, coercion, and terrifying threats involving private footage. The story shook the industry. Then, to make matters worse, footage surfaced. Surveillance from 2016 showing Diddy assaulting her in a hotel hallway. It was undeniable. By 2025, the fallout hit its peak. Diddy was convicted on federal charges tied to the transport of individuals for exploitative purposes, facing more than 11 years in prison. That's not a tabloid headline. That's real-life consequences. Now imagine being LeBron James, Mr. Family Man, standing in the middle of that storm. You've been seen at Diddy's parties, those exclusive, camera-filled events packed with celebrities, champagne, and secrets. Moments you thought were private suddenly don't feel so safe anymore. And then there's Stephen A., sitting on years of inside info, knowing who was where, who saw what, and who said what. He doesn't have to say names, just one cryptic comment, and suddenly your name starts floating through every rumor thread online. One sly Stephen A. line like, "If people knew what really went down at those parties," and boom, overnight, the internet connects LeBron's name to every ugly headline, every scandal, every conspiracy video. That's the kind of power Stephen A. holds, not just to criticize, but to ignite. And that's why LeBron's been walking on eggshells ever since. Because when your whole brand is built on being untouchable, one whisper from a man who knows too much can crack the whole image open like glass. That's the thing. This isn't your average criticism, this is leverage. Stephen A. doesn't just talk. He holds receipts that make even the biggest stars nervous. And while the whispers and backroom tension are boiling up, LeBron's out here doing the exact opposite in public. Flashing smiles, posting selfies, and flexing his VIP access like it's nothing. Remember those posts where LeBron basically bragged about being part of Diddy's exclusive circle?
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. That's LeBron James openly showing the world he's not just a guest, he's family in Diddy's world. But here's where it turns explosive, because this isn't just about basketball, charity, or celebrity parties. Nah, this is about a man who spent over 20 years controlling every inch of his story like a master chess player. Every move, every tweet, every quote, Nothing happens by accident with LeBron James. Think back to 2010, when the decision changed sports history forever. Millions of people were glued to their screens, waiting to see where he'd take his talents. Most athletes would have dropped a simple tweet or done a press conference. But LeBron, he turned it into a televised event. Some called it arrogant, others called it genius. But one thing was clear: LeBron wasn't just choosing a team, he was owning the narrative. He was showing the world that he decides how the story gets told. Then jump to 2018, when he launched the I Promise School in Akron, a major move that had the whole country emotional. Sure, it was a beautiful act of giving back, but it was also strategic. Every shot, every tearful parent, every soundbite of LeBron talking about changing lives, it all cemented his image as more than an athlete, a hero, a community savior, the man who could do no wrong. And then came Uninterrupted, his very own media empire. The name says it all. It's a wall between him and the traditional press, a filter that keeps outsiders from twisting his story. If something leaks or gets messy, LeBron can override the narrative instantly with his own platform. Every article, every rumor, every viral moment, it all gets reframed under his control. That's not coincidence, that's design. Even his smallest actions are strategic.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what I
many
felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought.
Remember back in 2016 when LeBron suddenly unfollowed all his Cavs teammates on Instagram right before the playoffs? Fans thought it was random. It wasn't. It was part of his focus routine. A silent message saying, "I'm locked in." And those cryptic tweets that send NBA Twitter into chaos? That's calculated too. LeBron doesn't just post, he plants seeds. Every single move is part of a long-term strategy to keep the LeBron James story airtight, inspiring, heroic, untouchable. But here's the catch: Stephen A. Smith knowing too much ruins that control. Because for someone who spent decades protecting his image like a brand, a guy like Stephen A. holding private dirt is a nightmare. Now you see it, right? This isn't just some petty back-and-forth beef. This is a direct threat to everything LeBron's built. His empire isn't made of bricks and banners. It's made of perception, and one wrong narrative can tear that whole empire down faster than a bad playoff loss. But the funny part, LeBron can control his image on camera. But the internet, that's a wild beast he can't tame. And that's where it's all spiraling out of control. Fans have taken this whole LeBron Diddy situation and blown it up into a full-blown online obsession. Reddit threads analyzing every handshake, Twitter jokes spinning wild theories, TikToks imagining LeBron caught up in the freak-off parties. It's insane. The memes are endless and the speculation just won't die down. And here's the craziest part. The more LeBron ignores it, the bigger it grows. Every time he stays silent, drops a polished PR post, or flashes that calm smile on Instagram, people read it as guilt, not grace. That's the Streisand effect in full swing. Trying to hide the story only makes people dig deeper, because the internet loves forbidden mysteries, and LeBron's carefully polished public image is the perfect target. The idea that there's something off camera lurking behind his perfect smile is too tempting for fans to resist. They're convinced there's way more to this story, that somewhere between the glitz, the parties, and the Instagram filters lies something that could flip everything we thought we knew about the king. And here's the truth. This isn't just about LeBron versus Stephen A. This is classic Stephen A. territory. The man doesn't just debate, he investigates. He digs, he pokes, he gets under people's skin until something cracks. And when it does, he's right there with the camera rolling. He's done it before too. Look at Kevin Durant. KD straight up called Stephen A. clown after the way he covered his move to Brooklyn. Why? Because Stephen didn't just report the move, he shaped the narrative around it. He hinted at KD's motives, friendships, insecurities, stuff that hit personal. KD hated it, but that's what Stephen A. does. He doesn't just ask questions, he starts fires, and that's exactly what he's doing here. LeBron's used to being the one telling his story, but now he's facing a man who can tell it without him. And when that happens, even kings start to sweat. Stephen A. Smith isn't in this game to make friends. He's in it to rattle cages. His job isn't to sugarcoat or protect egos. It's to report, analyze, and expose, no matter who gets uncomfortable. And trust me, plenty of players have learned that lesson the hard way. Take Kyrie Irving, for example. He straight up accused Stephen A. of being a media puppet master. Kyrie said Stephen wasn't just reacting to headlines. He was creating them, twisting narratives, blowing stories out of proportion, and shaping how fans viewed players before they even spoke for themselves. It didn't start as personal beef, but once Stephen A. keeps digging, it always ends that way. And Kyrie isn't the only one. Remember Allen Iverson? Early in his career, AI respected Stephen A deeply. The two had real history, mutual respect, even brotherhood. But when Stephen A started publicly questioning Iverson's decisions off the court, that respect turned into resentment. The relationship cracked, and the trust vanished. Then there's Kwame Brown, whose viral rants about Stephen A are legendary. Kwame didn't just feel criticized, he felt mocked. He accused Stephen of humiliating him on national TV and using his name for cheap ratings. Those rants still echo across YouTube today. So maybe, just maybe, this LeBron feud isn't unique at all. Maybe it's just another example of what happens when Stephen A gets too close to the truth, because that's the pattern. When he digs too deep, the people in power get real uncomfortable. Now zoom out for a second and look at other NBA beefs that blew up over the years. They all have one thing in common. They stay mostly about basketball. Think about Ray Allen and the Celtics' Big Three. That whole mess was pure locker room ego. Ray wanted a bigger role, but Pierce, Garnett, and Rondo had their dynasty plan locked in. It turned personal later, sure, but at the start, it was all about minutes, touches, and control on the court. Or look at Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns with the Timberwolves. That one was total meltdown mode. Jimmy was fed up with the team's lack of fire, demanding accountability, calling out teammates in practice. And it blew up spectacularly. But even then, it was a basketball problem. It was about competing, not conspiracies. Then we got Draymond Green versus Jordan Poole, a punch that shook the internet. But still, that drama stayed within the Warriors' walls. It was about clashing personalities and pride, not parties or private secrets, just raw team tension that leaked into public view. Even Kyrie and LeBron split. That got messy too, but it was about control on the court. Kyrie wanted more say in the offense, more leadership power, and LeBron wasn't ready to hand that over. It was drama, but still, it was basketball at its core. Now, here's where things really shift. Stephen A versus LeBron is in a whole different league. This isn't about minutes, plays, or team dynamics. This isn't about leadership or chemistry. Nah, this is personal. This is about narrative power because Stephen A isn't a teammate or rival, he's a storyteller. And LeBron, he's the story itself. Their battle isn't on a court, it's in the media. Headlines, interviews, whispers, and all the rumors in between. Stephen's words have the power to shake LeBron's image, and that's what makes this feud dangerous. You can't outplay a guy like Stephen A. He's not trying to win a game, he's trying to own the conversation. Every time LeBron stays silent, Stephen A fills that silence with speculation. Every time LeBron posts something cryptic, Stephen A gives it context. And suddenly it's breaking news. That's why this beef feels different. It's not about stats. It's about secrets. It's not about team tension. It's about who controls the spotlight. And that's something LeBron has spent his entire career protecting. So yeah, players like Durant, Kyrie, and even Kwame have clashed with Stephen A before. But none of them have as much at stake as LeBron. Because when Stephen A starts poking holes in his story, it's not just an athlete being criticized. It's an empire being challenged. And if history tells us anything, once Stephen A smells a story, he doesn't back off. He digs deeper, talks louder, and keeps going until somebody finally cracks. And if that somebody happens to be the face of the NBA, oh, you better believe this feud is just getting started. This isn't just another sports beef. This is a celebrity media collision at full speed. One man's got the mic, and the other runs an empire built on power, image, and precision. The stakes here go way beyond points, trophies, or MVP votes. This is about control. If Stephen A really knows the kind of things he's been hinting at, then this isn't just drama anymore. It's a live wire that could explode with consequences no NBA feud has ever seen before. Right now, fans are glued to every headline, every soundbite, every sly grin Stephen A throws on camera. Everyone's trying to read between the lines, wondering what's real, what's bluff, and what's still hidden. Some think Stephen A is sitting on bombshells that could rewrite LeBron's entire legacy, while others believe he's just playing psychological chess, keeping the king sweating under the spotlight. And that's what makes this story so addictive. The mystery, the tension, that feeling that something big is hanging in the air just waiting to drop. Nobody knows if Stephen A will actually pull the trigger and reveal what he knows, or if he's just enjoying the power of keeping LeBron guessing. Because if he did go all in, if he really exposed what's behind those cryptic comments, it could change everything. The public's view of LeBron, the balance between superstar and storyteller, even the unspoken rules between players and the media could be flipped upside down. So what do you think? Will Stephen A finally drop the truth bomb and shake the sports world to its core? Or is this just one giant mind game to keep the king off balance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what side you're on. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. This story's just getting started.